So one of the first concepts that I ever thought of putting in this was stuff from pranic energy healing. So that is typified in books like this. Pranic energy healing deals with prana and the subtle bodies. So it deals with the bodies that are above where your skin ends. And one of the most interesting things I thought was this idea of different lights having different cleansing properties and healing properties. So white light is the best for just clearing your energy. So you work with the white light and you clean yourself off. Now when you're done, or as you're working, you put it in the fire. Wipe it off. Rub your hands together. Wipe it off. So this was a fascinating thing as well, because a lot of pranic energy healing and work is done with the imagination. With Magic Leap, I don't have to imagine it. It's been really weird, because this is a very basic example of a simple tracked sphere. And yet, what I've found is when I try to practice pranic energy healing without wearing the headset even, I have a much better reference frame of what I'm supposed to be doing. I think that the Magic Leap is an amazingly powerful technology for facilitating and expanding these traditional healing arts. Throughout human history, there have been a lot of different medical systems which have sought to address not just the corporeal, gross body, but the subtle bodies that extend out all the way to the scale of the whole universe, potentially. And with the Magic Leap, we have a really powerful way of engaging with what was previously something you would have to learn through books, imagination, the guru teaching you. Now we've added this other way, this holographic way of being able to say, now place the white light on your hands and clean yourself off in a very tangible way. I got goosebumps a little bit just doing that. We use this technology to visualize things which are previously not able to be visualized without a considerable amount of training and practice. And so we give ourselves a kind of training wheels to get to potentially the next stage of human evolution. I don't want to beat around the bush here too much. I really think that there is quite a lot waiting to be rediscovered, and quite a lot that once rediscovered can be refreshed and revitalized, reborn even, in these new forms where we merge the older energetic practices with the new technology and digitization precision to create a HoloHealing, to create a synthesis of the body, mind, and spirit as represented by graphics and as embodied in ourself and as felt by our perception. And I think that's why the HoloHealing system is conceptualized as a framework that's going to enable all manner of different traditions and practices to come in. It's going to incorporate sound, it incorporates visuals, it incorporates beautiful music, it incorporates our nature, and it incorporates really anything else that you can imagine to build. There are so many things waiting to be rediscovered, so many things being practiced currently. I really believe that this particular device is going to create a middle ground for us, for all of us who endeavor to help improve the human condition, where there are people who they heal primarily with their hands. They say, this is my instrument, I send energy to people, I work with their energy. And there are others who use a knife, a scalpel. There are others who use different chemicals. There are others who use etc., 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 onward and onward. And that this device, this Magic Leap, represents a very, very powerful shared space where we can begin to visualize, practice, and cohabitate a magic verse of wellness and healing. And that's the goal of the HoloHealing system, the framework. I can't think of every kind of possibility permutation of people's practices. That's your job. Show us how you heal yourself and you heal others. I don't know if we're going to achieve miraculous Jesus-like things where people are suddenly, who were blind can now see, and things of this kind. I think when I say healing, I mean wellness. I mean that being well is healing, that we know from placebo and other aspects, even in the modern Western traditions, that you can heal thyself, and together we will heal thy shared self. Potentially saying healing in a name can open me up to legal etceteras. I really want to stand by it because I really want there to be the full power of your intention into yourself, that I can heal myself, I am healing myself, I am healed with others. Obviously, please still seek all forms of healing. I just believe that this represents a culmination of a lot of different ways. This represents the ideal training wheels to get us quickly familiar with some of the more ancient practices so that we can plug them in to the other paradigms of today in the West and really create a new synthesis that I don't even think I can imagine, honestly. I think it's going to be something that's genuinely going to surprise us all with, hopefully, the efficacy of it. I want to support and not judge all different aspects. Then the fun comes in of, now that we've got this on, now that we're engaging with digitization, we're engaging with measurement, we're engaging with science, potentially. So we bring in the artistic renderings, we bring in the different energy healing practices, we bring in all these things which it can be easy to either dismiss or just simply believe, and really begin to work with them and really begin to interrogate them in a loving way where we can discover how to build the most ideal health, wellness, and consciousness alignment systems. You see the Merkaba floating, that's no accident. These ancient sacred symbols, which have been with us for a long time, they do things. When you look at them, they do things. And let's discover exactly what that is. Let's expose ourselves back to some of our ancient holy symbols in a wholly new way. This is the first time outside of my own imagination that I can see this much depth of the Merkaba. And that's powerful, to be able to share symbols together in space, to be able to share intention together in space, rendered as graphics, something we can actually all see and agree upon that is being seen. I think this can do a lot to accelerate our ability to be with each other in new ways. I see HoloHealing as a core part of the Magicverse. And I'm really excited every time I put this headset on and have my own little meditations. There's currently work being done reading brainwaves, and I also am adding heart rate variability. So this is the interbeat interval of your heart. You want your heart rate to actually change in a regular pattern. So it's faster, it's a little slower, it's a little faster, it's a little slower, it's a little faster, it's a little slower. This means you have resilience in your heart. And if it's a consistent sinusoidal pattern, that means that you're in a state that Heart Math Institute calls coherence. And they've done really fascinating studies where just being in that state can bring the rest of your system into alignment. And this is all meant physically, tangibly. This is measured. And that's what's so exciting. So grounding the HoloHealing, getting holographic healing working as an artistic rendering of existing concepts and new paradigms, then will let us study it with the scientific apparatus and be able to hopefully merge the East and the West, the unseen and the gross, and the touching, the cutting and the feeling. These things which seem separate, I think we can bring them together, and this is a big part of how that happens. Thank you. Namaste.